Okay, we're in. I don't say a word on the way back to the cabin. How can I? How do you vocalize the knowledge that your core understanding of the world just turned out to be wrong? It feels like the ground beneath my feet dropped out from under me. My steps are unsteady and I feel nausea coming up like waves. My head pounds hard. I've always prided myself on my healthy skepticism, but I can't deny what's right in front of me. My thoughts scramble to find some way to explain it, some way that I can piece it together in a way that I can understand. But it's hopeless. Tara is still struck mute. I'd expect her to be bouncing off the walls, to be unable to calm down. After all, this is what she's been after for years. Ever since we started the show, ever since she first had the idea for the show. Now that we finally actually found something, neither of us know how to react. She keeps playing the short clip she recorded over and over again, watching it until the battery runs dry. A lot of it is unusable, due to the snow in her shaking hands. But there are still a few seconds of clear, uninterrupted footage. Her ratings are going to go off the charts. We're going to have to prepare for endless barrages of questions and accusations of doctoring the footage. This will mean interviews, national news, maybe even a book deal. Nothing will ever be the same again. But all we can manage is silence. Holy shit! Morgan's the only one who seems somewhat calm, though even she's a bit shaken. She's the one who coaxes us to leave the church and starts heading back to town. It's the obvious thing to do, yet somehow the suggestion sounds like a crazy idea that I would never come up with myself. All my thoughts are mush. If it weren't for Morgan, I'm sure Tara and I would both end up wandering the woods in total shock. I can barely manage a slow stumble as I follow from way behind. Thick, fresh snow impedes the path. Hello, Rhea. The blizzard subsided, but the harsh winds bite at my exposed skin. It all feels like too much.
Maddie, are you okay?
I'm not okay. It takes me a few seconds to even register her voice, and a few more to realize she's looking back at me with genuine concern.
Yeah, I'm fine.
My brain screams to ask for help, and my body feels moments away from collapsing. But what kind of help could she give me? I can only focus on reaching our destination. Morgan looks like she wants to respond, but instead resumes her trek forward, this time moving at a somewhat slower pace. After a while, the faintest light in the distance comes into view, the cabin. Our light, our refuge in the darkness. Tara's pace quickens to a near sprint like she had been waiting for this moment. She rushes and crosses the distance, disappearing inside. Holy shit, she's scared. Morgan walks alongside me. She opens the door, following inside behind me. I feel a sudden pang of guilt over how much I've disregarded her before now. Especially since she was actually right. As soon as I reach the couch, my legs give out from under me and I fall onto it like a ton of bricks. She completely covered me. It isn't until I hit the cushions that I realize that I nearly crushed Tara, who was already collapsed next to me. What the hell?
Sorry.
She doesn't say anything. She might not have noticed. I thought that getting back to the cabin in safety would renew her enthusiasm. She should be running in circles around me, screaming, "I told you so." Everything about her whole existence has just been validated. But she's just looking down at the ground without saying a word. Her bangs obscure her eyes, making her face unreadable. Her chest rises and falls in an odd rhythm. She's a hentai protagonist. Then I realize that, just like me, she's still trembling. The monster's silhouette flashes through my head again. Huge and terrifying, the red light shining down to the very center of my being.
Here, this will help.
Yeah, there was a forest giant in the woods. She sets 2 glasses of water down on the table in front of us. I didn't even register her coming over here. Tara cleans her throat and leans forward.
Thanks. Seriously.
They're the first words that she's spoken in what feels like hours. She manages a small sip, but most of it dribbles down her shirt. You need a bib? I didn't even reach for my glass, knowing that my hands are just as shaky, if not more. My entire worldview was shattered. It's gonna take more than just a walk in the snow and a glass of tap water for everything to sink in.
How are you not freaking out? Have you seen that thing before?
No, that was my first time as well.
She doesn't answer the other part of my question. Tara continues to slowly drink her glass of water while mine remains untouched. At some point, Morgan goes into the kitchen and prepares a pot of coffee. I can hear her rummage around in the fridge and the smell of coffee as it brews, but neither register beyond cursory awareness. What does get my attention is when she sets 2 steaming mugs down in front of us, hot coffee sloshing over onto her hands.
Drink this. It'll help.
I do as I'm told, lapping at the brew since it's too hot to sip. Tara does the same. Morgan sits beside her on the couch, draining her own mug much faster than we do as she gazes out the window. By the time I'm about halfway through my own, I do feel a bit better. Whether that's because of the warmth, the caffeine, or just a placebo effect, I'm not sure. Once we're finished, we just lapse back into preoccupied silence. Yet again, it is Morgan who breaks it.
I think the 2 of you should take some time to relax. I need to get home soon too, before I arouse too much suspicion.
I need to get to bed before I arouse too much.
Does that work for you?
Yeah. I look to Tara, who doesn't seem to have even heard a word of what Morgan said.
Yeah, sounds fine.
The more I think about it, the more appealing it sounds. Right now, I want nothing more than to curl up in my bed, cocoon myself in blankets, and sleep for a while.
Okay, I'll see you later then.
Never one for long goodbyes, Morgan heads straight for the door.
I'll message you soon.
Goodbye. Don't die. She leaves before either of us can respond. We sit. And sit. I don't know for how long, longer than I've ever seen Tara sit still. I just don't know what else to do. As much as I'd like to, I know we can't just sit here forever. The knowledge that we'll soon have to return to mundane, everyday things feels unreal. We just witnessed something magical and life-changing. How could we just go back to normal life? But I know that in truth, the world hasn't changed at all, just our knowledge of it. No matter how long we wait, the outside world will continue to pass us by. Whoa, it feels like an eternity passes, but Tara's voice breaks through the silence. I'm not sure if I fell asleep or not, but I react with a start, and my heart beats 100 miles per hour.
So, what do you think?
About which part? There's a lot to take in.
Yeah. About all of it. Or any of it.
While she sits, she idly pulls on a loose thread from a blanket close by. She pulls, and it unravels even further. I don't think she notices she's doing it.
I think the main thing is that I wonder what else is out there now. Not just in the forest, but
Chupacabra.
in the whole world. Are there more of those things? Or is it the only one of its kind? And how did no one ever see it before? There's just so much that I don't know how or what to feel. What about you?
Again, she shrugs.
The same, pretty much.
There's no way you're not gonna get that BooTube award now, you know?
BooTube. It's a surefire joke. It should have been an easy smile, but she doesn't react at all.
Probably not. Think I'm gonna crash. Good night, Mads.
Good night. Just like Morgan, she gets up and leaves without even giving me time to reply. There's barely 5 seconds between her saying it and her bedroom door slamming shut behind her. It's not at all the kind of response I'd expect from Tara, but these are far from normal circumstances. All that I can do now is wait for her or for Morgan. Wait and wonder. After a late night spent researching, I awaken around 11 in the morning, a good 2 or 3 hours later than I usually get up. I get dressed in a hurry, not wanting to keep Tara waiting before we head into town. It would be a pretty iconic twist though, since usually I'm the one who has to wait for her to get ready after two late nights. Or what? After late nights. I have a sheaf of notes that I took and a hand cramp to match. I'm not sure how useful all of it would be, but it's at least a starting point. Tara's good at seeing the hidden connections and putting pieces together too. It makes for entertaining videos even without results. Out in the living room, a lukewarm pot of coffee and a used mug are the only indication that she's awake.
Hey, I'm up now. Slept in a little. I'll be ready to go in a sec.
I call out from the kitchen, preparing my own cup of coffee. She doesn't respond. I wonder if she can't hear me with the door closed. I go and knock on the door, being careful not to spill any coffee on myself. No response. I knock again, louder. Most likely she has her headphones in, that or she fell back asleep.
You ready? I'm good to go.
I gently open the door.
I have a bunch of notes and research too. Maybe we could go over some of it with Morgan.
Silence. Wake up, sleepyhead. Fuck. She's not that heavy of a sleeper. I knock again, even harder, but she still doesn't answer. I jiggle the doorknob a little bit. It turns easy. Oh no. I open the door slowly, giving her ample time to yell and interrupt me. But she doesn't. Her room is empty. What? She left without me. I let go of my carefully arranged papers, suddenly not really caring that much about them as they flutter to the floor. My hand shakes hard enough for coffee to spill out of the mug and staining the pages below. So that's how it is, whatever it is. I swallow the lump in my throat, forcing myself to not overreact. Maybe she tried to wake me up and I slept through it. Or maybe she just went out for a walk and will be back soon so that we can go into town. There are 100 different benign scenarios for what could have happened, but in my heart I know that she ditched me, plain and simple. I go to the sink and dump out the coffee, my appetite suddenly gone. Then I pick up the papers that I dropped. A few are ruined beyond legibility from the coffee, but it's not like anyone will miss them. I throw them in with the trash, along with the sodden paper towels that I used to clean up the spill. I gather the rest of the papers into a pile and leave them on the kitchen counter. Throwing them away feels like a waste, but I don't really want to look at them right now. I retreat back to my room and slam the door. Even though there's no one around to hear it, I put on a film at random for background noise more than anything. My thoughts start to wander before the opening credits are even finished. What exactly was it that I did that upset Tara so much? Before Morgan took us to the church, things were fine between us, if not a bit tense. But I was working on my attitude and she didn't seem bothered. And since seeing the monster, both of us have said so little. So I'm just left wondering what I did wrong. I wish that she would talk to me and at least help me understand. I'm about 15 minutes into the film before I realize that I have the French audio track playing without subtitles and that I haven't understood a word of it. I close my laptop and stare blankly at the wall since that's the only thing I can do and not mess up right now. It isn't long before I can hear the crunching of 2 pairs of footsteps outside as well as the low murmur of conversation. The front door bursts open and from my room I can hear the din of Tara entering.
Gotta be related to the stuff in the journals. There's no way they're not talking about the same thing. Just send all those pics to my email address when you can. This is gonna be so freaking good.
Sure thing.
I sit paralyzed in my bed. Should I ignore them? Go out and act like nothing's out of the ordinary? Part of me wants to just hide in my room, but the way Tara and I have always gotten over arguments is being open about our issues. Plus, Tara would know that I'm at the cabin, so if she brought Morgan back here, I doubt she's trying to avoid me. Maybe they came back specifically to include me. Hoping for the best, I head out into the living room. Tara's brewing a pot of coffee while Morgan leans against the counter. A few books that she must have brought from the home are stacked beside her. She glances up as I enter.
Hey, Maddie.
Hey there.
Hi. Tara nods without facing me. Wow, the cold shoulder.
What are the books?
I nod at the stack. Tara sets 2 cups of coffee in front of her, and Morgan, and slides the books towards herself.
They're the journals she mentioned on the walk to the church. She was letting me take a look at them.
She puts emphasis on the word like she's the only one who's allowed to. Maybe that's the case. This isn't off to a great start.
I see you've picked up a coffee habit too, huh? Morgan's really rubbed off on you.
Yeah.
Are we getting jealous? She turns to face Morgan, being sure to exclude me from what she says. What?
Okay, we can chill in my room. Might want to grab one of the spare chairs from out here.
Oh.
Wow,
Okay.
what's going on? What did I do wrong? It's a small consolation, but I can tell that even Morgan feels a little uncomfortable with the situation. She gives me a sympathetic look, but doesn't say anything. What did I do? Just why is Tara acting like this? If she would just tell me, we could work it out. I stick out an arm, halting Morgan as she carries the chair across the cabin.
Tara, can I talk to you for a sec?
The 2 of them exchange a look, but I can't tell what it's supposed to mean. Then she shrugs. I gesture toward my room and she follows me and I shut the door.
Can you please, tell me why you're mad at me?
I'm not mad at you.
I scoff. You seem pretty mad.
Whatever you want to call it, why are you treating me like this?
She's even got those angry little hairpins.
Like what?
Hey, don't play dumb. I can already feel myself starting to get angry, but I try to keep under control.
Please don't play dumb like that.
Yeah!
You've talked to me for 3 days, you ditched me this morning, and now you're going out of your way to exclude me.
Drama.
I don't know how to interpret that as anything other than mad. I have no idea what I said or did to piss you off, so I don't even know what to apologize for.
Tara runs a hand through her hair and looks around my room. It's the first time she's been in here since we arrived in Eisenfeld. It's more or less a carbon copy of hers, so I don't know what's so interesting about it.
I'm not mad, I'm just not wasting your time with this stuff anymore. I can take it from here.
I'm not quite sure if I heard her right.
Sorry, what?
I said I can take it from here.
Take what exactly?
The vid. I mean, you're quitting anyway, so I've got to learn how to do all this on my own, right?
But that's not...
I don't even know what to say to that.
Why not ask me at least? or even tell me. That's so screwed up.
How do you figure? Every day since we've got here, you've talked about or at least shown how you don't want to be here. You even said it yourself. You had to make an effort to be less bitchy whenever we go out.
I mean, we did do that. She's not wrong.
So, now that there's a solid lead, I can figure out the rest of it myself. Or at least with Morgan's help. If you want, I can buy you an early train ticket home or something. Next one should be coming through in a day or two. You don't have to keep pretending to care.
No. The whole time, her tone never changes. It's flat and emotionless. I wonder if that's another result of Morgan's influence. I wait, expecting there to be more, hoping that there's more. There isn't. I stand there dumbfounded. Tara shrugs again and then leaves, closing my bedroom door behind her. What the shit?
Okay, sorry about that. Let's get those journals.
No. I can still hear her talking to Morgan through the wall, bright and chipper. My legs feel weak all of a sudden and I collapse onto my bed. How could this happen? Through everything, my own misgivings and concerns about my future, choosing to quit the show and telling Tara about it, and even witnessing the monster at the church, I've managed to keep my composure. But for the first time in I don't know how long, I can't stop it any longer. I cry, no! All of this feels so unfair. Of course I didn't want to be here. It's been a waste of time every single other time. I get it, I was the skeptic, the non-believer, only humoring her in all her exploits and playing as her foil. I rained on her parade constantly. And now, after everything that's happened, she was in the right. I can't deny that. But why does that mean that I don't deserve to be involved with it now? Maybe she took my leaving personally, even though I swore that wasn't the case. I was only doing what was right for me. I needed to move on and do something with my life, so is it really my fault that that meant I had stopped playing around with the paranormal stuff? After these past couple days, I was even starting to reconsider that. Maybe staying on the show wouldn't be so bad, and once the episodes go live, everything will be changing. But now I don't feel like that's an option, like she'd even want me there anymore. I feel like everything in my life has just changed in a few short days, like I'm lost at sea without anything to hold on to. My best friend in the whole world is at the epicenter of it all, and I'm thousands of miles from home. Through the walls, I can faintly hear the sound of Morgan and Tara discussing whatever it is, not nearly loud enough for me to make out any words, but enough to be reminded of my exclusion. I wonder if Tara knows how upset I am, or if she expected me to be grateful. Neither would surprise me. I cry until my eyes are dry and sore, but I don't feel any better. The walls of my bedroom feel claustrophobic, and the vague sound of Tara talking is insufferable. I hurriedly bundle up and slip out of my bedroom and out of the cabin to get some fresh air. Let's get the hell out of here. The cold is just barely more manageable today, but it's still preferable to the atmosphere inside. It stings my wet cheeks, burning reminders of my unhappiness. I pick a direction at random and start heading into the forest. As long as I don't make any twists or turns and just go in a straight line, I won't be able to get lost. What? Hold on 1 second. After what I've seen, the woods feel especially hostile now. I wonder what else could be lurking in the shadows. or farther amongst the trees, countless possibilities that I'd never considered are suddenly plausible. But for once, I don't hesitate, I just walk, my feet automatically stepping over roots and other forest debris. Underfoot, the snow is slushy and messy. My head feels the same. My heart hurts, everything hurts, my nose burns from crying, the cold only exacerbating the effect. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? I just feel lost. I reflect on the show and on the years I've spent with Tara and wonder how it all came to this. The show had been her idea, of course, but I was the one who encouraged her to go through with it. She'd always had a flair for the dramatic, whether it was the school play, her old blog, or even the over-the-top fanfic she used to write, and I'd always been there to support her, whatever it was. I'd go over her lines with her and help her rehearse, or even edit her fics. When she first had the idea for Terranormal, and combining her two biggest interests, cryptids and herself, I was the only person who said she should go for it. I even came up with the name, which I'm still pretty proud of. It is a pretty good name. At first, I thought it would just be another entry in a long list of harebrained ideas that Tara would start and quickly lose interest in. I gave it 2, maybe 3 episode tops before she got bored, but the reception was good and the views started coming in. So did the ad revenue and the sponsorships. What had started as a weekend hobby turned into a weekend responsibility and then into a day job. My role went from holding a cheap camera and stitching together the footage to actually learning proper video editing and investing in decent equipment. It seemed only natural that I'd be the one to handle all the invites, fan mail, inquiries, and more. The professional side of things. I put my life on hold for the show, quit college halfway through my film studies degree, and moved out of my cheap student housing. I gave up my barista job and the store manager promotion I'd been hoping for. I dropped everything in order to help Tara make the best show possible. Sure, it wasn't like I had it rough. Tara's always split the royalties with me and pays for the expenses herself. The two of us have done pretty well for ourselves, better than we had any right to expect. At the end of the day, it was still always about Tara. Her name in the title, her name in the contracts, her name in the fan mail, Tara, Tara, Tara. And when it's all over, when the final episode someday goes up and she moves on, she'll be able to take that name with her anywhere. That success, that popularity. And all I'll have is the memory. The more I dwell on it, the more unfair Tara's behavior seems. I can feel anger overcoming my sadness. How could she say I'm only pretending to care? I gave up years of my life for her and dedicated them to making her look good. Without me, she had never been able to balance running the business side of the show while actually making it. Hell, she's not even close to being tech savvy enough to do what I do. Part of me wants to spin around right now and go back to the cabin and demand an apology. But I know how that would go. She'd just get defensive, and even if she did say she's sorry, she wouldn't mean it. It wouldn't actually fix anything. We'd just be back to where we started when we first got to Eisenfeld. Awkward and tense. There isn't a good solution that I can think of, but I have to do or say something. I can't just leave things as they are. Her offer for an early trip home lingers in my mind. I'm sure she'd make good on that promise. It sounds pretty tempting too. In less than 3 days, I could be comfortable, warm, and back in my own bed. I'd never have to think about Morgan or Eisenfeld or forest spirits or weird churches or floating lights again. I could just move on with my life the same way I've been planning to once I get home anyway. As I think that, though, I know it's not really an option. I'd never be able to live with myself if I let it all go unresolved. Oh shit! 2 piercing red eyes shine in my memory, and I know that there's no way I'd be able to forget about them. Remembering the monster makes me stop and take stock of my surroundings. I've been walking at a pretty good rate, unhindered by the weather and fueled by my bad mood. There's a small clearing just up ahead, and it looks like it might be a good spot to take a short break. It's not very big. I realize when I reach it, I could toss a stone from one side to the other. It doesn't feel as stifling as the rest of the forest, though. I clear my throat. It's the only noise I can hear. The sounds of the village don't travel this far. They barely reach the cabin for the most part. Overhead, the sky is crystal clear blue for the first time that I can remember. It's still freezing, but it isn't cloudy. Not even an airplane or vapor trail disturb the tranquility. I rub my eyes and defog my glasses. I must look like a real mess out here. I do feel a little bit better, though. The fresh air alone has helped clear my head. The snow underfoot is well trampled from my stomping around, and the mud mixes with the slush to form a thin paste that sticks to my boots. If there was somewhere to sit down, this place would be perfect. I make do with the leaning against a tree that's mostly dry. I'll need to remember how I got here. It would be nice to have a place of my own to retreat to when I need it, away from the other two. Just as I'm enjoying the tranquility, there's a rustling sound overhead, and I look up just in time to get a face full of snow as it slides off a branch. Ah, shit. Perfect timing. I cough and splutter, wiping away as much of it as I can. Though a lot of it still falls into my clothes, I flap my jacket like wings trying to knock it out. Right then, from the corner of my eye, a quick motion catches my attention. It's gone, too fast for me to notice more than a glimpse of fabric, and I turn around to see who it was. But there's nothing there, and no sign of anything having been there. Heart pounding, I walk over in the direction it came from, looking for footprints or something. There's nothing. I rub my eyes. Maybe it was the snow messing with my vision. Snap! The harsh, unmistakable sound of a branch breaking cracks behind me. I spin around, expecting to see Tara there with a dumb smile on her face for having spooked me. But again, there's nothing. I'm scared. I pulled my coat tighter around myself and pressed my back against the tree.
Hello? Is someone there?
My voice resounds through the clearing but goes unanswered. In the middle of the clearing, a mysterious woman appears for just a moment. She has long pink hair and a lavender nightgown. Despite the snow, she's barefoot. Again, a flash of movement from the corner of my eye. This time I'm sure I see it. A glimpse of purple darting behind a tree. I start towards it, hand reaching, but without a clear plan in mind, just like a dog chasing cars. I don't know what I'll actually do if I catch it. I walk into the middle of the clearing, turning a slow circle, hoping to spot whatever it was.
Can you hear me? Hello?
It already knows I'm here. There's no point in trying to hide. Oh! Snow crunches off to my left, and I pivot, just in time to see a girl disappear behind yet another tree.
Hey, wait!
I may as well not be saying anything for all the effect it seems to have. I hurry to the tree where I saw her, but she's gone. I'm just running in circles, chasing after who knows what. My heart beats like a kick drum. A million possibilities race through my head, each more fantastic than the last. Maybe she's from the village. Maybe I imagined her. Maybe she's another forest spirit. Maybe she's the same forest spirit we saw before, but in a different form. Any of them could be true. I've seen now that nothing is impossible. I look all around searching for a clue and finding none. This is a bad idea, I know. Every single fairy tale I've read warns that this is a bad idea. Chasing after mysterious girls in the woods never ends well. She could be luring me into her secret lair, or could even be a disguise for some kind of terrible monster. Maybe it's the forest spirit come to exact revenge for trespassing in its territory. I should turn and run and race back to the cabin. If I told Tara and Morgan, I'm sure this is the kind of thing that would override Tara's annoyance, at least for now. It could be our chance to patch things up, pursuing some new mystery. Or I could not tell Tara, and I could solve the mystery myself, whatever it is. For the first time, something happened to me that doesn't involve Tara. I could keep it that way. My hand is trembling, but I reach out in the direction I last saw the girl, more as of a sign of openness than anything else.
Are you still there?
Silence.
If you can hear me, can you let me know?
No response. My fingers close over empty air. This is stupid. I feel like an idiot talking to no one. If she wanted to be caught, she could have let me, I'm sure. But then if she didn't, then what was the point of even showing herself?
I'll come back tomorrow, okay? If you'll be here again.
It feels desperate. It is desperate. But I can't let this chance go. Not when this could be all I have. A light breeze blows through as if to answer. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I stand there hoping for another sign. As I give up and turn back towards the path home, I see it for just a split second. A bright pink light, crystal clear and the color of a sunset, flashes just once. It's the same as the one we chased through the forest several days ago. My breath catches in my throat, my muscles tighten, poised to follow, but my common sense overrides. As much as I want to, I can't just go running off into the forest on my own. I'd probably never find my way back. I swallow. If it can understand me like it seems to, then I'll see it tomorrow, once I've had more time to prepare. I face the direction the light came from, even though it's gone now.
I'll be back tomorrow. I promise.
Whoa. Morgan and Tara never noticed me come home. They might not have even noticed that I left. I don't make any efforts to talk with them. I'm still too angry with Tara. Instead, I spend the rest of my day in my room, watching films or reading. All the research that I was so eagerly working on is put aside, stuffed into a folder that's out of sight on my hard drive. I have my own project now, my own lead to explore. The thought of that light and the mysterious girl in the woods stays on my mind through it all. Even late into the night, I can hear that Morgan's still over in Tara's room with her. At some point, the sounds go from conversation to something else. I turn up the volume on my computer. They can do whatever they want. It's well past midnight when my eyes finally get heavy enough to sleep. Wait, what? What are they doing in there? The next day, I head straight to the clearing without telling anyone. Nearly 24 hours to the minute since I left it. From the thick clouds overhead, I can tell it's going to be a short trip, till I have to go at least to see. It sounds like they did. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that. My heart thumps with anticipation and more than a little nervousness. It's an odd mix. I force myself to keep a calm demeanor and not to get worked up. It's difficult. I'm hopeful, but I don't know what for. I don't have a camera or even my cell phone. There's no way I could prove anything that happens. And it's not like there's anyone who could vouch for me, say that I saw what I saw. For now, it's important that I keep it that way. This encounter, whatever it may be, will be mine and mine alone. Arriving at the clearing, I braced myself for what I might find. Nothing's changed. I'm met with silence. There's a faint sound of trees rustling in the wind and nothing more.
Hello? Are you out there?
I give it a moment, waiting and hoping for a response that never comes. Maybe it really was my eyes playing tricks on me. The light could have been a reflection of the sun, and the girl could have been... There isn't a doubt left in my mind that the girl was there. There's no way I didn't see someone. Frustrated, I kick at some of the mush on the ground. It splashes up and splatters my legs.
Are you there? I'm waiting. Please.
I feel like a fool. I'm pleading with someone that may or may not exist to manifest. If someone had told me a week ago that I'd be here doing this today, I'd have laughed at them. Everything about this situation is unlike me. My irritation builds up with myself, with Tara, with the stupid ghost light, with everything. Whatever was there is gone now, and really what kind of idiot convinces herself to come back for an imaginary date with a weird breeze? I clench my fist, looking without seeing. Slowly, I turn circles, hoping for something, anything. I traipse back and forth at an increasingly desperate pace, not really sure what kind of clue I'm searching for, but just knowing that I can't sit still. If I sit still, then I'm giving up, and if I give up, then I really don't have anything left for me out here. For the second day in a row, I feel the sting of tears in my eyes, and I pinch my eyes to shut to stop them. Not here, not today. I hold my hand there and suck in a deep breath. The cold air stings my throat. I steady my breathing, fighting back the urge to cry. After a moment, once the urge is past, I lower my hand and open my eyes. And she's there. Wah! You're real! So silently and so suddenly that it's like she was never not there. The mysterious girl stands before me, barefoot in the snow but seemingly unfazed. She regards me with a curious look, her eyes wide like I'm the one who's out of place. Now that she's here right in front of me, I realize I don't know what to say.
Hello?
It's all I could muster. My voice comes out weaker than I expected. Her eyes go wide at my word, her lips move, but no sound comes out. She mouths something else again, still without a voice.
I can't hear you.
She's muted. Turn on your mic, nerd. A frown. She turns away. Have I disappointed her? Is she going to disappear again?
Please don't go!
Don't go! I don't know why I want her to stay. Something is clearly different, unnatural. This isn't a normal girl. But that's exciting in and of itself. The girl turns back around to face me again. She looks just as confused as I feel. There's a nervous sort of energy to her. Beneath the gown she's wearing, far too thin for the weather, the girl's legs are tense and ready to bolt. I take a step towards her, holding out my hand the same way I'd approach a kitten or a lost puppy.
My name's Madison. Can you understand me?
She still looks a bit nervous, but nods. So we speak the same language, that's good. Is she from Eisenfeld? I can't imagine she's from anywhere else. There's nothing else around.
You were
She's
talking,
a Discord
right?
kitten.
Just a bit ago. But I couldn't hear you.
Another nod. That means that for whatever reason, her words can't reach me. Maybe she's naturally mute, Or maybe her voice was magically stolen. Every idea that comes to mind is more ridiculous than the last, but I consider them all equally. To my surprise, I'm able to remain calm and, by my standards, pretty level-headed. It seems like the girl is more afraid of me than vice versa. I drop my hand down, offering a handshake. She stares at it for a moment, maybe expecting it to turn into a snake or for me to shoot magic bolts from my fingers. When neither of those happens, she gingerly slowly reaches out for my hand. It passes right through me. Her fingers glide through the palm of my hand like a breeze disappearing into the air. With a sad smile, she looks down, seemingly expecting this result. Horrific realization slowly dawns on me with the same tinge of certainty that guided me out here. This girl isn't really here in the same way that I am.
You're a ghost.
A slow, sad nod, she looks apologetic about it for inconveniencing me with her lack of a corporeal form.
I'm sorry.
The words feel weak and inadequate and nearly like a non sequitur. But really, what do you say to a ghost? She shakes her head vigorously, hair flying about, trying to rid herself of some bad thought. She gives me a big smile and stretches out her arms wide, turning about to gesture to the trees around us.
What is it? I don't understand.
The girl bites her lip, wondering how to better convey her message. Then, with a decisive nod, she points at me and then points at the ground beneath us. Or between us, sorry. Pausing a moment, she holds that pose, then when she points at the trees in a particular path I'd come from, and shakes her head. A flash of fear knifes its way under my skin. Is she threatening me? She definitely doesn't look like it. Look at that threatening little face.
Something about where I came from?
She nods and then repeats the pointing, first at me, then at the ground.
Me? Right here?
Another nod.
You're asking if I'll stay here?
She nods and claps, hopping up. This is like in VR chat when someone doesn't talk on the mic and they just have to gesture to you and you have to play charades with them. Except she doesn't come down, she hovers there as if suspended by invisible strings, then slowly lowers herself back to the ground. I'm not sure if it's what she was going for, but I smile.
Are you showing off?
She laughs and nods, glad to be understood. Look at that smug face!
I can stay for a bit, sure. If you want me to, I mean.
The girl practically zooms the short distance between us, moving with what might be supernatural speed. She stands so close that her gown phases through me, uncomfortable in its lack of sensation. And she nods again, this time solemn and hopeful. I can't fight the feeling that she could easily be setting some kind of trap or leading me astray, but I still don't get that impression from her, so I agree.
Okay, I'd be happy to. But I can't stay for too long, or Tara will start to wonder where I am.
Tara again. For the first time since we arrived, I was able to fully push her from my thoughts. I was so overwhelmed by meeting this girl that Tara didn't even register on my consciousness. But now there she is again. She's more haunting than the ghost. The ghost in question mouths Tara's name, one of the few words I can actually lip read. Aw.
The person I came here with, she's, back in the village.
The girl's eyes go wide and she points in the direction of the forest, then makes a dragging motion back to where we are. This one's easy to understand.
No, she's not coming here. She has no idea.
For the first time, I'm glad the girl can't speak, but because it means she can't ask me to elaborate. I don't want to think about Tara right now.
way, were you here yesterday too? Watching me?
I nod, wholly unapologetic.
I thought so. I also thought I might be crazy, though. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised by either one.
She looks surprised. I wonder if she knows about the other supernatural occurrences in the forest. Maybe they're connected somehow.
The other day, my friend and I were out in the forest,
Nod.
and suddenly there was this huge snowstorm out of nowhere, and we saw this giant thing.
I stretch my hands to indicate just how enormous it was, but the enormity and the terror of it are impossible to convey.
I don't even know how to describe it. It was a monster of some kind. Like a huge tree had come alive and was walking in the snow. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not only does the girl nod, but she laughs, finding something funny about my story. I'm not sure if I should be worried or not.
So you've seen it. Is it, like, evil?
A firm shake of her head.
That's good. It
Oh,
was
she
honestly
shook,
the
she didn't nod.
scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
After that, we taper off into silence. Well, I do. I don't have a reason to believe her, but so far she doesn't seem threatening at all. I have a hard enough time holding up the end of my conversation under normal circumstances. This just makes it even harder. The two of us just stand there looking at each other. Now that she's not moving around so much, I'm able to get a better look at her. She seems to be around my age, if not a bit younger. Her hair is long and slightly unruly, reaching well down her back. She reminds me a bit of Rapunzel, all alone in the forest. A cute bow midway down helps keep her hair in place. Her wide eyes are curious but slightly sad. Still, she smiles so easily that I wonder if I'm just imagining the sorrow. As green as emeralds, her eyes kind of remind me of Morgan's. I was so taken aback by her sudden appearance and well ghostliness that at first I didn't realize she's beautiful. We're in love. Her choice of attire makes a lot more sense now that I know she can't feel the cold. The gown she's wearing has a few dangling threads and scuffed spots, which I assume haven't changed since she died. I shudder, trying not to think of my own mortality. What was it like? Why is she here instead of whatever usually happens when you die? Does she know what she's missing? An afterlife or lack thereof? I have a million questions about her life and about life itself. There's so much I want to ask, but it's impossible. Plus, we've only known each other for a few minutes. It feels like that would be rude to ask right away. A thick snowflake lands on my cheek, startling me. I'd pretty much forgotten about the weather. Overhead, the clouds are getting worse and the snow is starting to fall more heavily. As much as I want to spend more time with her, I really don't want to be caught out in a blizzard a second time.
I need to go back now, but will you be here again? I'd like to see you again. If you'd like that too.
She nods empathetically with a grin to match. I can't help but smile in return. It's nice to know that someone is looking forward to seeing me.
Okay, I'll come back as soon as I can. I promise. Although...
Oh, it's a date!
I'm not sure when the weather will let me do that. On the next sunny day, I'll be there, okay?
She nods.
Okay, I'll see you soon then. I hope.
The girl waves goodbye as I turn to leave, remaining in the center of the clearing. As I get my last look at her, I know that I'm not imagining the sadness in her eyes now. I glance behind several times on the walk back, each time expecting her to have disappeared once more. But she stays there, waving until the trees obscure her from sight. A splash of purple fabric against the brown and white of the forest. A little spark of light to look forward to. with almost every step I take. I cast a glance behind me. I keep expecting to hear the crunch of snow or spot a flash of red hair as terror follows me, but there's nothing. I'm alone. I hurry through the woods practically on autopilot. Less than a week ago, I'd have never set foot in the forest on my own, but now I already have the path to the clearing memorized. It gives me extra time to worry. What am I even doing? Everything about this situation is extremely not me. Heading off my own on my own into a dark forest without telling anyone to go meet up with a ghost. Even thinking the word ghost still makes my heart lurch. I've seen her with my own eyes, and yet I still have trouble believing it. And I'm just trusting that she's not going to lead me to her lair and suck out my soul or something like that. I'd like the soul sucked out of me. I feel like Gretel, and I'm not even cautious enough to leave a breadcrumb trail. But still, I keep walking. There's something exciting in being on my own. I'm doing something without Tara. I can't remember the last time I had a secret from her, at least not a big one. Not telling her about the ghost girl feels a little bit like rebellion. I feel like I deserve something exciting that's all my own. She and Morgan can go do whatever. I doubt Tara will even notice that I'm not around. And even if she does, it's something that she needs to get used to. I've tried to show her how to cut a video or frame a shot lots of times. It's her own fault that if she still doesn't get it. Just like it's her own fault that she's missing out now. As I approach the clearing, I slow down a little. My usual trepidation overtakes me once again as I contemplate just how reckless this is. There's absolutely no guarantee that the girl isn't dangerous, that I'll walk out of these woods alive. Normally, I chastise Tara for following her gut instinct, which dictates probably 70% of her decisions. Yet that's all I have to go off right now, the feeling that I'm safe with the ghost girl, that she won't harm me. I cross the threshold of trees and into the clearing, just like the other times, serenely quiet. Even my past footsteps are gone, erased by the wind or snowfall.
I'm here.
Somehow, I feel like she already knows. The forest swallows my words, returning to frozen, pristine silence. Soundlessly, she steps out from behind a tree. A small smile sits on her face, though her eyes are slightly downcast. She waves, meeting my eyes for just a moment before glancing away.
Hi there.
My words hang in the still air.
Were you waiting for me?
We lock eyes again and she nods, quickly, earnestly.
I hope it wasn't for too long.
She shakes her head and then she laughs. I'm not sure what the joke is, though.
What? What's so funny?
Once she catches her breath, she bites her lip as she ponders. After a moment, she shrugs, looking apologetic. I guess explaining a joke through gestures would be difficult. She sidles up next to me, and I fight the urge to step back. Though I've decided to trust her, my instincts still belie my nerves. But what she seems to be most interested in is the bag slung over my shoulder. She simulates opening the bag so that she can see into it.
Nosy, huh?
Immediately, she backsteps, waving her hands in a frantic, apologetic motion.
Sorry, I was just kidding. You can look.
She regards me like a timid deer as I hold the bag open for her to see. Inside are a couple books that I picked up in the village this morning. I hold up the first one, small and square and baby blue.
I got a really strange look from the person who runs the bookstore because of this one. It's a book of baby names.
Her eyes go wide and she grasps at her belly, then points at me. It takes me a second to understand what she means, and for some reason I feel my face flush. What?
No, I am not pregnant. But I thought maybe you could use it to show me your name? If it's a name that would be...
What the fuck? I thought we were pregnant too. What the hell? Before I can finish my sentence, she zoomed back over to me, all sense of personal space once again discarded. She clasps her hands, a fiery look in her eyes, and hops up and down. Frankly, it's adorable.
Guess you're a fan. Okay, cool.
She eyes the book hungrily. She must be really excited to share her name with me. It's a little exciting for me too. It's nice to see someone so happy about being with me. I fight to keep an overzealous grin off my face.
Okay, let's see.
I look around. Aside from trees and snow, there isn't much. I wonder if there's something about this place in particular that the girl likes.
Is there somewhere nearby where we could sit down? It feels a little weird to just keep standing.
Finger on her chin, she ponders. Then she turns and points toward the woods, even further in. I can tell from the look in her eyes that she's uncertain. I swallow a lump in my throat. I've come this far after all.
Sure, that's fine. Lead the way.
She does so, but never gets too far from my side. Every few steps, she glances over at me as if I'm making sure I'm still here. Oh, okay. That feels a little backwards to me, but in a nice way. I don't really feel compelled to break the silence either. Of course, part of that is because any conversation would be one-sided. But also, she looks content, like she's just happy to be here. I am too. The silence doesn't feel vast and overwhelming like it was with Tara. It feels warm. Before too long, I realize what our destination is. This is nearly the same path that Morgan took us down just a couple dusks ago. I recognize some of the more grotesquely warped trees.
We're going to that church.
Eyes wide, she nods, probably surprised that I know of it.
One of the villagers showed it to us a few days ago. Me and my friend.
It feels weird to just call Tara my friend. Usually if I'm talking to someone about Tara, they've met her. The girl just nods yet again. As we reach the edge of the trees and the church itself comes into sight, I look around for traces of the monster we saw days before. There are none to be seen though, no snapped or toppled trees. No footsteps as deep as I am tall. Much like the girl beside me, there's no trace of its existence. Maybe it only appears in blizzards. I look over to the door of the church where she's patiently waiting for me. Once again, I fight back all my fears and hesitations and head for the door too. It's too late to turn back now. The door is still slightly ajar from our visit days ago. A thin trail of snow powders the entryway, but otherwise the church is dry. It's still unnaturally warm. I wonder if that has to do with the girl too. From the way she walks, I can tell she's familiar with the place. She heads to the front, stopping just shy of the altar, where she turns around to face me. Being back here is a little unnerving, and I slowly approach her. Though she hasn't given me any reason to be suspicious, the image of those monstrous eyes is ingrained in my memory. But this time, there's no howling wind or earth-shaking footsteps, just the one girl waiting patiently. I give her a smile as I sit down on one of the pews near the front. It's hewn from stone, smooth and rigid. She takes a seat right beside me. Cute. Normally, being this close to strangers makes me uncomfortable, but with her, I don't really mind. Part of it is, of course, the fact that I can't feel her at all, but the other part is that it feels kind of pleasant to sit together like this. I hastily pushed that thought out of my head. She's a ghost. She is literally transparent and insubstantial. I rummaged through the bag and grabbed the book of baby names.
Okay, so, first?
She bounces up and down with anticipation as I tear off the plastic cling wrap and stuff it into the tote bag.
Is the first letter early in the alphabet?
She nods and holds up one finger.
I. L?
2 shakes of her head. She touches her index fingers together, then uses her middle finger to cross between them.
Oh, an A.
Enthusiastic nodding. I flip to the first couple of pages in the book. Right in the middle of the A's, the first name I spot is Amber. Impatiently, she leans over me and motions to go further back towards the start. I turn the pages slowly, giving her time to scan. That's so cute. On the very first page, she holds out a hand to stop and points. She's practically hanging over my shoulder to show me.
Abigail.
Abigail.
Your name is Abigail.
She gives me the biggest, most radiant grin I've ever seen as she nods. Her joy is infectious, and I can't help but smile too.
Abigail.
I repeat it, and she looks even more joyful. This is adorable. A beam of light breaks through the glass window, illuminating dust motes that make it look as if she's sparkling. We lock eyes, and I feel my breath catch in my throat. The look in her eyes, pure unadulterated happiness, is something I've never seen before. They shine with tears, the good kind. The kind that brings out the color of her eyes, the radiant kind. I didn't know I could make someone happy like this. I quickly look away, back to the now irrelevant book in my lap.
Anyway, Abigail. I had a couple questions. Is that okay?
Abigail nods.
So, maybe this is kind of rude to ask, but are you a ghost? Or are you something else?
Abigail closes her eyes and with a sad smile nods.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sure what the appropriate response to something like that is. Well, we're all gonna be a ghost one day.
Then, are you from Eisenfeld?
Nod.
Do you know a girl from there called Morgan?
She shakes her head. That makes sense. I'm sure Morgan would have mentioned her before if so.
So have you, been a ghost for a long time then?
I cringe a little as I ask. It seems gauche, although I'm not sure entirely what the proper etiquette is for this kind of conversation. And in answer to my question, she nods again.
Do you know how long?
A shrug. She holds up 2 fingers, then 2 fists. Wow, she has 3 hands?
200?
Whoa, old lady. Another shrug and a nod.
200 years.
Holy shit. I murmur it to myself in slight disbelief. It could be more. I doubt she's been keeping track of it every day. The world out there, the world I come from, it may as well be another planet for her. Oh shit, we can introduce her to YouTube
I'm sorry.
and TikTok. It's incomprehensible to me. I can't fathom that much time passing, unable to talk to anyone. How lonely that must be. She closed her eyes again. Though I've been interpreting her silence as serene, I wonder if that's how she feels. These yes or no questions are practically the extent of what I can ask her. There's still such a gulf between who she is and what I know of her. Centuries worth of solitude.
In all that time, have you ever spent time like this with someone else?
Without opening her eyes or looking at me, she shakes her head again.
I'm the only one?
Nod. I fall silent too, my head still reeling. There are so many things that I want to ask and want to know. How did she die? Why did her spirit stick around? Does she know about the thing we saw in the snow? Why am I the first person she's shown herself to? But there's no way she could answer, and even if she could, I wonder if she'd want to. Is it impolite to remind a ghost that they're dead? Well, it's been 200 years. It's not too soon. It's morbidly funny to me that these are questions I have to ask myself. Tara would love this. Tara would... Hello, Milo. I pushed that thought out of my head too. Tara's not here right now. It's just me and Abigail.
Would you like me to read that other book?
Her grin returns, the moment of melancholy dispelled. Seems I made the right call in changing the subject. I show her the cover before I crack it open, enjoying that new book smell.
This is a book I read a lot when I was younger. It's about a girl who wants to be a hero, so she goes on a quest with her best friend to prove herself. It's a little childish, I guess, but maybe you'd like it?
Abigail claps her hands and nods. I have a feeling that I could read the dictionary to her and she'd be satisfied, but I don't mention that.
Okay.
Dictionary ASMR. I smooth a crease open to the first page.
Once upon a time...
It's a story that I could probably recite by heart. My mom used to read it to me when I was a little girl, and it was one of the books that I used to learn to read. I was both surprised and excited to see that there was a copy of it in Eisenfeld's bookstore. I settle into an easy cadence of reading, though I'm not used to reading out loud. It starts to feel pretty natural after only a couple of pages. Like my mom used to do, I give all the characters different voices. I don't have quite the range that my mom does, but Abigail seems to enjoy it all the same. She smiles and laughs in all the right places. It makes my heart warm to see how much she's enjoying it. Her eyes are closed yet again, but she looks quite content. As we finish chapter 2, Abigail scoots a little bit closer and rests her head near my shoulder. I pause mid-sentence, surprised, but resume just a second later. Though I can't feel her there, the sentiment is clear. I keep reading. Sometimes when I glance down, I can see that her eyes are open, reading along. Her lips mouth the same words as I am. One time she catches me looking and blushes, but I just smile and continue going. After we finish chapter 4, I finally pause. My mouth is dry and my jaw is starting to hurt a little bit. I must have been reading aloud for close to an hour. God, I know how you feel, girl. Oh. Hold on. After we finish chapter 4, I finally pause. My mouth is dry and my jaw starting... Oh, okay. Even though I stop, Abigail doesn't sit up or open her eyes. Her hand rests on my arm, and I set the book aside. Sorry, I double-clicked, and I feel like I skipped something. Do ghosts need to sleep? That's another question I can ask, but maybe at a different time. Right now, I'm happy to let her pretend. This is like VR chat. You can't physically rest your head on someone, but you do it anyway because you're lonely in real life. I totally haven't done that before. Quietly, I hum a song. It's something from the radio, a title I can't remember, but that's always stuck in my head. I'm extremely off-key, I'm sure, but I don't care. It just feels right. When I stop, she finally opens her eyes and sits back up. As we gaze at each other, she mouths two words that I don't have to be good at reading lips to decipher. Is it thank you? Thank you. Aww.
No problem.
Abigail.
I hope you like the story.
First she claps, and then she places one hand over her heart. I laugh, flattered but also a little embarrassed.
I think that's all I can do today, but we should read more sometime. If you want to, I mean.
I already know the answer, but she gives me an emphatic nod all the same.
Okay. It's a promise.
God, the writers really want you to ship these two, huh? She touches her heart again, and I smile.
I should probably head back to the cabin soon. People will start to get suspicious if I'm gone for too long.
Abigail cocks her head like an owl, curious.
I, haven't told my friends about you yet. It's sort of like our secret, I guess. And I want to keep it that way for a little longer.
She smiles in agreement. Once it starts getting dark, we say our goodbyes and part ways at the church. Same as when we first met, she watches me go until she vanishes from sight. As I head back towards the cabin, my head is swimming or maybe drowning. It's hard to think of anything but Abigail, all alone in the middle of the forest for centuries. That's her story. I want to know, but I doubt I ever will. Yet I'm already looking forward to seeing her again, even though in the back of my mind I'm aware that Tara and I will only be here for a few more weeks. It seems almost cruel knowing that this is also short-lived. If I were her, would I rather have a few weeks of happiness just to lose it again, or never have anything at all? The question makes my head and heart hurt. The walk back feels like it goes by much quicker than my journey to the clearing and then the church. As I get closer to the cabin, I can see that the windows are dark. Tara must be in town or out with Morgan somewhere. I wonder if she noticed I was gone. My musing is interrupted by the sudden sound of footsteps in the snow. Who is it? I knew it! It was fucking you. The mayor steps out from behind a tree just like Abigail did earlier. What the hell? Is she a ghost?
Good evening, Madison.
Oh, she's probably a fucking ghost.
Evening, Miss Mayor.
Mayor Ghost.
Where have you been?
I freeze. Her tone is sharp with no pretense of being conversational. Her glare is even sharper. Does she know about Abigail or about the forest spirit? Surely she would have mentioned it if so. My mind reels while I stall for time.
I was out for a walk in the forest.
I'm bad at lying, so I tried to just tell her half-truths.
I can see that. Where did you go?
Around.
Yeah.
I was just walking around. Needed the fresh air.
Alone? Where's your friend? Or my
Hell if I know. They're probably banging in the cabin. Why don't you go check? With each question she asks, she takes a nearly imperceptible step closer. I shrug, trying to look indifferent. I don't think it's working.
I'm not sure. Tara and I had an argument earlier. I wanted to be alone.
argument. Regarding what?
She's far too close for comfort now, close enough that she could reach out and grab me by the throat if she wanted to. Still, I'm so taken aback by the nerve of her asking about my personal issues that my voice comes out stronger than I could have hoped for.
I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable talking about it.
The mayor regards me for a long moment, her nostrils flare. I meet her gaze and don't look away even though I desperately want to. I half expect her tongue to shoot out and taste the air like a snake. It feels as if she can see right through me. I'm almost certain that she knows I'm hiding something from her. More than just my argument with Tara.
I see.
She flips her hair and walks past me, heading into the forest. What?
Be careful, Madison. The woods are dangerous on your own.
What the hell? I stand there, heart in my throat, until the sound of snow under her feet fades into silence. She's totally a ghost, I bet. What? Did we just switch perspectives? Hold on. What? A bright burst of light jerks me awake. I groan, getting ready to toss a pillow at Maddie and demand she turn the light back off. It's so bright, it turns my... What? POV change? Holy shit. This never happened before. But when I do, I realize the light is coming from the window, and it's not the window I recognize. What the fuck is happening? Uh-oh. Oh, shit. What did we do? What happened? Oh, shit. Tara and Morgan wake up naked in bed together, covered with blankets. Morgan is still sleeping while Tara is sitting up. Oh my fucking god, they actually did it. Chat, what is happening? Tara, you're crazy. Okay. Morgan is starting to stir next to me, an adorable little smile on her face. It's so cute that for a minute it distracts me from the fact that she's completely naked. It takes another second for me to realize what I am too. I yank the covers up to my chest to, well, cover myself. Memories of last night start to come back in bits and pieces. What the fuck happened? How did it come to this? We'd been going over notes about something, and admittedly I might have gotten a little flirty. But next thing I know, we're kissing, books are on the floor, I hear papers crumpling underneath my butt. Oh shit. And once I said yes, she couldn't even wait to get to the bed before she started undressing me. Oh my fucking god. Twitch, I'm sorry. Don't worry. And it's not that I'm complaining, but it was definitely the last possible way I thought she'd respond. At least now I remember why I'm sore. What? It isn't long before Morgan opens her eyes as well. The rest of her face doesn't move as she wakes up. She sleeps with that same blank face she has when she's awake.
Good morning, Tara.
Oh. How did this happen? Oh, I knew it. Ever since that first chapter, I knew this was gonna happen. Fucking Tara. Her voice seems a little different. Softer, maybe? I have no idea, but it's kind of nice.
Hey, yeah. Good morning.
I cringe at the sound of my own voice. That was way too loud. I need to do a better job of keeping my cool.
How'd you sleep?
Better than I have in a long time.
Oh my god. I smile.
Although you do snore. Loudly.
I try not to let my smile break. I mean, she's right, but only when I lay on my back. Oh. I try to think back on a long list of awkward mornings afters and pick out a good comeback, but everything grinds to a halt as soon as I feel her lips pressed against my side. It's just a tiny peck, the kind I'd give a cute fan, but she also blows a tiny puff of hot air onto my skin that makes me shiver. I can feel my face turning red as my hair and know a comeback's not happening.
Tara, are you okay?
What the hell did we get ourselves into? I need to say something to get back on top of this mess. But all I can do is stare down at her, those bright green eyes, that soft face, that messy orange hair.
Tara?
Oh, sorry. I was just thinking that, well, you're cute.
Hey, I've had worse lines. I can't see her face, but I think I hear her chuckle or something like it. I should probably get up too, but I can't help taking a minute to stare. Maddie always gets on me for being thirsty, but I think I earned it this time. Uh-oh. Her curves, her muscles, she's like someone asked me every last detail about what my type was and then turned her real. This village is a dream come true. Okay, maybe we can have a double date. My clothes are spread across the floor, and it takes me a minute to hunt them all down once I'm out of bed. Actually, that's how they usually are at home too. I've got more important things than clothes to keep in my dresser. Morgan's already dressed by the time I get everything together, with her hair back in its usual pigtails. Cute as they are, I kinda miss how it looked down.
Hey, so,
Oh shit, our room is cool.
Is something wrong?
Did we bring our whole setup? Wait, what?
Your mom isn't home, right?
Oh,
I'm pretty
this is
sure
her
she'll be
house.
happy if she sees me coming out of your room first thing in the morning.
Oh shit.
You made enough noise last night that she'd know anyway. I don't think she's going to do anything about it.
Oh,
What? We just met like a week ago. Where things escalated really quickly. I feel like I'm burning up, but her expression is the same as ever. She's not even trying to be smooth, and she's still better at it than I am. And I'm already really good.
great!
Yeah, you got finger guns.
Cool. Glad we don't have to worry.
I'm going to go make some coffee for us. That's my bra, by the way.
No wonder it felt so loose. I love that she has a Terranormal poster. Hell yeah. That's a great poster. She's out the door, leaving me to search for more clothing and think about the conversation Morgan and I are gonna have when she gets back. Oh boy. Oh my god. I'm still thinking about what I want to say when she returns with the coffees, already chugging hers down.
I usually make it strong, but I put plenty of cream and sugar in yours, so you should be fine.
I normally take it black, actually.
I saw your daily routine video. I know how you take your coffee.
Whoa. She's a real fan. I don't even know why I'm bothering with the usual cool routine at this point. I should just accept that I'm beat. I take a tiny sip of the coffee and nearly fall back down on the bed. Even with cream and sugar, this is the strongest thing I've ever tasted. She drinks this black.
Is it too much? I can put some liquor in it if you want.
Isn't it like 8 in the morning?
Yes. Why do you ask?
Geez, she's crazy. I think we're out of our league here. We gotta bounce. I sigh and take another bitter sip. The last thing I need right now is alcohol.
Hey, so, I think we need to talk.
Sure. What about?
I'm not sure if she doesn't know or doesn't care about what I'm going to say, but from the way she's acted so far, I'm pretty sure it's the second one.
Look, you're a really great person. I really like hanging out with you, and I had a great
Oh,
time
no.
last night.
We're turning her down gently.
I know.
She needs to stop making me blush. I probably look the same way Mads does every time I try to introduce her to a cute girl.
I just want to make sure we're clear on what that was all about. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I mean, I'm not really the dating type, and I'm gonna be leaving in a month. I'm happy to do stuff like this as long as it's...
Tara,
Oh no. She doesn't sound frustrated or upset. If anything, her voice is softer.
we talked about this exact thing last night. You're cute, you're fun, and I really enjoyed having sex with you.
That is very
That's
forward.
all this is, and neither of us expect or want anything different. You don't have to give me any excuses.
Wow. Thank you for understanding. Blunt as ever, she takes another sip of coffee as I breathe a sigh of relief. All that worrying for nothing.
Great! Awesome.
Finger guns!
Cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that the
I'm
first
glad
time we've
that's
seen them
settled
this whole chapter? Holy shit. It's good to be back. I should feel relieved, relaxed, all that good stuff. With the rough part out of the way, I can go right back to being as intrepid and charming as always. So why do I feel like I'm the one who got let down here? This kind of thing shouldn't bother me, even if it didn't go the way I'm used to. This is why I hate taking time to think about things. Don't use your brain, Tara. You're better off just not using it.
So, did you make that sweater yourself?
What is this small talk? Morgan's eyes widen at my question. Looks like I found a good way to move on.
I did, actually. My ex showed me how to knit a few years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. It's a nice way to pass the time. If you want, I could make you something to take home when you're done here.
Hell yeah.
That'd be super cool. Everyone I know wears coats like Maddie's, or one of those big puffy marshmallow coats. I'm sure some hand-knit stuff would break the mold.
The fact that you insist on going investigating in nothing but a light jacket made me assume you didn't like coats in general.
Maybe I was just waiting to get in on the hip cool fashion trend.
I catch her smiling in between sips. She might act different, but I get the feeling that we're on the same wavelength for some things. I mean, obviously, since we ended up together, but still. Well, not together, of course, but...
I thought it was because of your shirt. You wear that same moon shirt in every vlog you do. I didn't expect it to be the same way in real life.
It was actually Maddie's idea, believe it or not. Something about having a, visual brand for the sake of the show. I figured my winning smile would be enough, but... I mean, as long as people like it.
I didn't realize she was that invested in the show. I figured she didn't care that much.
Oh no. Ouch. Hearing her mention how distant Maddie seems is a pretty painful reminder of how much things have fallen apart between us.
She used to be. Back when we started, she was a lot more invested in this whole thing. We've been inseparable since high school, and I figured she was really excited to keep that bond going strong.
That's pretty incredible. I don't think I've had any friendships that lasted more than a year.
I realized that she hasn't mentioned a single friend since we got here. I guess claiming your cat talks to you probably doesn't score you points with anyone other than me.
Oh yeah, it's been like around 10 years or something. Don't tell her I told you this, but we actually met because we were both total goths.
Whoa, goth girls. I jump when Morgan suddenly bursts into laughter. I've only known her for about a week, but it feels weirdly unlike her, probably because it's the most emotion she's shown since we met, and that includes last night.
I can't imagine Maddie walking around with raccoon eyes and dyed hair.
You have no idea. She was goth enough to put me to shame, always talking about the darkness in her soul, chilling with all other cool goth kids, calling herself Raven. It was great.
Oh my god, they were cringe.
You were part of a group? Do you keep in touch with any of them? I'd hope at least one of them kept the look.
My smile fades as I look away from her. She couldn't have known that asking that would bring back bad memories, so I don't blame her. But the memories are still there.
Not really. Most of them stopped talking to me
Aww.
when I told them I was trans, and the rest bailed as soon as I started to actually transition. Maddie was the only one who really stuck up for me.
Rip, holy shit, what a bunch of assholes.
I'll never forget that.
Morgan puts down her now empty mug. I'm not even halfway through mine.
I'm so sorry, Tara. I didn't mean to.
Nah, forget it. It's seriously okay. The whole thing is ancient history now.
That isn't a lie. I feel a hell of a lot better about the whole thing now that I know I'm doing way better than any of them. I can tell Morgan doesn't buy it, though. Better switch up the subject.
Anyway, after that, the two of us were inseparable all through high school. We even picked the same college so it'd be easier to stay in touch. The only time our friendship was ever on the rocks was... well, maybe we shouldn't talk about that.
I try not to grin when I see Morgan's eyes widen. Got him.
You wouldn't say that if you weren't going to tell me.
I don't think I got that joke. Chat, help me.
Well, I don't know.
She leaves her mug on the table and moves closer to me. I definitely saw her smile for a second there.
The Tara I know would never pass up a chance to tell a story.
Well, if you insist. Maddie and I actually dated once, for a few weeks, back when we first started college. Everyone we knew was pairing off, so we figured we should try it too. It's our secret shame.
I'm not surprised. You two would make a terrible couple.
Jeez.
Wow.
Much?
That's so fucking funny.
You're not wrong, though. It nearly killed our friendship. Thankfully, we called it off and went back to being friends. We haven't had any trouble since.
Until now.
Yeah, until now.
So much for lightening the mood.
I don't know. I guess her deciding to walk away from everything we built together doesn't exactly make me feel jazzed about our friendship.
Her having different priorities doesn't have anything to do with friendship.
What, like going back to school? She hated school. So either that's some bullshit excuse, or she just hates working on Terranormal even more.
She was talking about coming back. Having real proof seems to have changed her mind.
And then what? She goes along with it for another few months and gets sick of it? I can't deal with that again.
I can tell that I'm getting louder, but I don't care. I haven't had a chance to let any of this out since it happened. Morgan, of course, doesn't even flinch.
The thing is,
Now she's acting like she wants to be in on the action again? Am I really supposed to believe that she wants to commit to this?
I mean, she did see a giant forest monster.
but she...
I'm not an idiot. It's not like I'm ignoring the fact that she keeps running off to the woods to be by herself. I'm supposed to just be cool with that?
Tara,
I'm so sick of all this bullshit. Maybe I'd just be better off without her.
Tara!
Oh, shit! Oh, I jump as her voice drowns mine out completely. This burst of emotion isn't funny, it's honestly kind of terrifying. She got angry.
Stop. Just stop. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, shit.
You don't want Maddie to leave the show, but you're refusing to listen to her when she talks about coming back. You don't want to lose your friendship, but you're freezing her out when she tries to make connections again. I love your show. You know I do. But there are more important things in your life than talking about Bigfoot in front of a camera.
Holy shit, what the hell was that? She just shot through my bullshit like some kind of forest-dwelling therapist. How am I supposed to respond to that? All I can do is sit back down in the bed and let it wash over me. She sits down next to me and takes my hand in hers. She gives it a little squeeze and I squeeze back. I can already feel myself starting to calm down. When Morgan speaks again, her voice is back to its normal flatness.
Talk to her. Tell her how you feel and what you need. You can't spend your whole time with me and expect her to feel appreciated.
I don't want to leave you out, though. You're the whole reason we're here. Plus, I really like spending time with you.
I do too. But we'll have plenty of time together. You're here for an entire month.
Yeah, of course.
The word month makes me feel a little ping in my chest. For some reason, I don't want to think about how temporary this is. I let go of her hand to take another sip of coffee. It's barely lukewarm now, and I consider just spitting it back into the cup. That definitely wouldn't be a good look, though.
Do you want me to take you back to the cabin?
I think I'm gonna do a little more investigating here first. Give myself some time to think about what I want to say to Mads.
That's a good idea.
Hey, first time for everything.
She lets out another little laugh. It's not nearly as big as her earlier one, but it's not really nice to hear it after all the heavy stuff.
I'll go set up shop then. Come see me when you want to ride back.
You got it.
You got it, girl. I stand and stretch, scanning the room one more time to see if I'm forgetting anything.
Wait, are those my panties?
Yeah, you're wearing mine.
Fuck's sake. I tried to will myself not to blush, determining not to let her get one more fluster in.
Shit, sorry. I can change real quick.
It's fine. You can wear them. Just
What?
come back when you're done.
What the fuck? My cheeks are burning again, so much for that.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I guess I'll see you later then.
Damn, that was smooth.
Sure.
Morgan is a
You know where to find
beast.
me.
Without thinking, I leaned forward and pressed my lips against hers. They're soft, somehow not nearly dried out by the cold air as mine are. Wait, why am I doing this? I jerk my head away, expecting to be met with an angry glare, but all I see is the corners of her mouth twitch up for a split second before she's back to neutral. Could be worse, right? Oh my god. Either way, it's definitely time for me to get the hell out of here. I head for the door, but something stops me before I actually leave.
Thank you.
Anytime.
I don't know what I'm thinking for her. I'm not sure if she knows either. I'm out the door and back out into the village square, doing my best to leave my confusion behind me. I've got more important things to think about right now. I've got to think about what I'm going to say to Mads, tell her I'm sorry for being an idiot, and that I don't want this to screw up things even more than it already has. But as I think about it, I realize that I've got one more problem when it comes to her. If she finds out I slept with our host, she's gonna kill me. Oh shit. I think she already knows. Oh, what? We're to Morgan now? Fuck. This is getting crazy. Chat, what is happening? The cabin comes into view. It's warm and casts a glow on the snow. I keep my steady pace. Damn, I wanted to play more as Terra. It's been a while since Terra and I talked. Things still aren't fixed. They've improved. She's getting Maddie's help filming now, but I can still see that there's distance between them. It doesn't help that Maddie keeps choosing to stay behind when we go to the village. Her excuses are always flimsy, but Terra doesn't push it. I'm not sure if she wants to. I'm not entirely sure what to do. I never expected this to be easy, but now it's gotten complicated in a way that I couldn't have predicted. I wish I could help, but I'm afraid that intervening any more than I already have would make things worse. Maddie still doesn't trust me despite everything. I have to believe it's not too late. I need both of them fully committed before I can tell them why they're really here. What? At the cabin, I enter without knocking. What is going on? My brain isn't working for this. God damn.
It again.
I've tried it like 6 times, Mads. I don't know what else you're expecting here.
Hello there.
Hello there. They both look up from what they were doing. It's not a surprising scene. Tara's hunched over her laptop in the living room while Maddie stands nearby looking ready to hit her. I don't think either of them noticed me entering.
Hi.
Hey!
Hi! While Maddie seems more annoyed at my interruption, Tara seems genuinely happy. Whether that's for the distraction or because it's me, I'm not sure. I walk over and sit down beside Tara, placing myself between her and Maddie.
Check this out.
She angles her laptop so that I can see it and presses play on a video. There's some distorted noise, but the screen stays black.
What am I supposed to be looking at?
Exactly.
Somehow exasperated, Maddie throws up her hands and storms off into the kitchen, banging around the cupboards without actually doing anything.
This was the footage that we took the other night. Remember? With the spirit and stuff?
I remember.
Yeah, well, it was totally fine a few days ago. We watched it 1 billion times, so you know as well as I do.
Right. It was perfectly visible then.
But now...
She plays the clip again, nothing but noise. It's worthless now. Fuck! We're never gonna make it to the BooTube Awards. Fuck! Oh, we're screwed. You fucked it up.
So what happened?
Beats me. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Oh, you fucks. You had one shot, one opportunity. It's the fucking mom, I bet. Evelyn. That little bitch is ruining our footage. Maddie slams a cabinet, particularly loudly.
What happened
What Maddie thinks happened...
is that the file got corrupted somehow. Either when you exported it or when it was transferring or something.
I didn't do shit. Oh wait, I'm not Tara, sorry.
But it was working fine before. Seriously, ask Morgan.
She points at me. I wish she wouldn't bring me into it like this, since it'll seem like I'm taking a side.
The video did work before, yes.
Great, that helps us a lot.
Oh god, murder eyes.
Isn't there a backup somewhere?
This was supposed to be the backup. I thought I'd uploaded it to our server too, but I guess the Wi-Fi cut out, and that didn't actually happen.
Terabytes of what? Fuck! We gotta go back into the forest and get more footage.
That
No
was
one's
on
gonna
me.
believe us when we put it up on BooTube. Fuck. I'm expecting another sardonic reply from Maddie, but to my surprise, she sits down across from us and sighs.
Well, we can't change it now.
It seems that Tara's admission of guilt, even partial, helped her calm down some.
Was that the only footage that was affected?
I didn't check. Can't see why anything else would be screwed up, though. We just got unlucky. Super unlucky.
That's a bit of an understatement. Without that footage, we don't have anything to show.
I want to tell her that there will be plenty more opportunities for filming this spirit, and likely other equally remarkable creatures, but I know that she won't believe me yet. Galadura warned me that this would probably happen, as if I hadn't already known, but Galadura also didn't help my case at all, since she said she didn't know if she could trust them yet. I wish she would have told me that before I made a fool of myself in front of them both. Galadura is the talking cat from the last chapter, who didn't actually talk. Tara laughs, but it sounds forced.
Guess we'll have to take some new footage then. Morgan, you don't have any other mystical spirits sitting around that we could film, do ya?
Funnily enough, I do. I just smiled though, going along with the joke. For some reason, Maddie tugs at her collar and looks away out the window. Perhaps she's more uncomfortable around me than I thought. Abigail!
Can I borrow your laptop? I'll see if I can move the file to my computer. And maybe salvage something.
You really think that'll work?
No, but I'd like to try.
Sure thing.
She lifts the laptop over me and passes it to Maddie.
Thanks. I'll be in my room. Let me know if you need anything.
She leaves, taking Tara's laptop with her. She pushes her bedroom door but doesn't close it all the way. Beside me, Tara places her hand over mine. It's not anything that Maddie would be able to see from her room. I'm not sure why Tara's so insistent on keeping our relationship a secret. Still, I appreciate the gesture. Of everything that's happened since the two of them arrived here, getting close to Tara like this has certainly been the most unexpected.
It seems like things are a bit better between the two of you. Did you talk?
I make sure to keep my voice low.
Not yet. I was going to, but first Mads wasn't home, then she was shut in her room all day once she got back. I was going to bring it up today, but then all this stuff happened.
At least the two of you are talking a little. She must be feeling bad too.
Maybe. You should have heard her before you got here, though.
I'm sorry.
Nah, don't be. It's like you said, this is on both of us.
You really don't know what happened to the footage? I promise I won't tell Maddie anything.
Nope, it's 100% legit. It was working fine, and then it wasn't. I didn't even drop my computer or spill water on it this time.
That's so strange.
You're telling me. Mads is convinced I did something to screw it up, though.
I have a niggling suspicion in the back of my mind, but I don't want to bring it up yet. I don't want to alarm Tara if I can help it.
Has anyone...
What the fuck? Right in the middle of my sentence, the heater in the corner of the room makes a sizzling noise and then dies. Tara and I both stare at it. What the fuck just happened?
Did you see that?
I did.
God!
Clutching her head in her hands, Tara gets up and goes to inspect the heater. She looks around and underneath it, although it's clear she has no idea what she's actually looking for. While her back is turned, I take a moment to peer out the window, scanning for anyone or anything out of the ordinary. I don't see anything.
What happened?
Heater died. Check it out.
Wait, you're kidding me.
I wish.
Already, the cold is starting to set in. Fuck.
Was it a short circuit or something?
I'm glad that she doesn't default to blaming Tara for this. My suspicion gets a little stronger too.
No clue. Morgan and I were sitting here when it suddenly died. Didn't give any warning or anything.
Someone's trying to kill us.
It was a lot like the...
She trails off. She doesn't need to finish the sentence. I'm sure we're all thinking the same thing.
Like the footage.
There's an EMP spirit. Some sort of hacking spirit. She says it anyway. None of us say anything, then Maddie chuckles nervously.
That's a pretty weird coincidence.
Do you two think that, like, they're connected somehow?
We gotta start using our paranormal brain, our terranormal brain. Get our detective hats on. Nothing is impossible.
What, the heater in the footage? There's no way that could be. It's just bad luck.
Maybe.
She gives me a look that says she doesn't think it's random. I'm inclined to agree. There are no coincidences.
Any luck with saving the video so far?
Oh shit.
Not yet, but I just started. Give me a bit.
Right. I'm gonna go grab a blanket. You want one, Morgan?
No thanks.
What the hell?
What happened? 2 seconds after she entered her bedroom, Tara yells and pops back out.
The heater in my room is dead too!
What?
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. Come look if you want.
Maddie and I both hurry into Tara's room. Sure enough, the heater in here is as dead as the one in the living room.
Were they on the same breaker? This cabin must have ancient wiring, right?
No, it was renovated a couple years ago.
Is the one in your room still working, Mads?
Without waiting for an answer, Tara pushes past and goes to look. Ignoring Maddie's feeble clamor against barging in, we follow behind Tara yet again. In Maddie's room, the heater is running fine. What?
That's so unfair!
Maddie frowns too, looking perplexed. What?
I don't get it. Why just in here?
That's a pretty weird coincidence.
Tara does a poor imitation of Maddie's voice.
It is! What else do you want me to say?
Grumbling, Tara leaves the room without giving an actual answer. Maddie doesn't try to stop her and stares at her perfectly functional heater. I shut the bedroom door behind me as I leave.
okay? Tell me I'm not crazy. Something weird is going on.
You're not crazy. This definitely isn't a coincidence.
Get the vlog camera out. We gotta vlog this. Holy shit.
You say that like you know what's going on.
I can feel a pit opening up in my stomach. I've never been good with words. I'm not sure how to phrase everything I'm about to tell her, much less how she'll take it. I must struggle for too long because I can see Tara's expression go from mopey to concerned.
Hey, you okay? I was just kidding, but like, do you actually know what's up?
I press a finger to my lips and point to Tara's room. Her eyes go wide, but she nods. I lead the way with her following close behind.
We can talk now.
Tara looks like she's gonna explode.
Now? What the hell? That was like something out of a spy movie.
Shh. Not so loud.
I listen for any indication that Maddie's followed behind us or is eavesdropping, but her door never opens. Tara watches, waiting for me to elaborate, but I can tell that it's taken every ounce of self-control she has to not barrage me with questions. It's understandable.
Okay, bear with me, because I'm not sure how to say some of this.
Oh shit, what's gonna happen? Nearly vibrating with excitement, Tara nods. I take a deep breath.
I don't think that all these malfunctions are a coincidence. I think they're
I
intentional
fucking knew
sabotage,
it!
and that my mother's to blame.
I knew it! Her eyes get as wide as saucers. I called it.
Your mom?
Yes, and I also think that Maddie might be involved too. It's not her fault at all. I'm afraid that my mother might have gotten to her first. She might not even know it.
Gotten to her how?
As in, she's not in control of her actions. She might not even be aware of them.
What the fuck? She's a Russian sleeper agent. What?
You mean like mind control?
More or less, yes.
What? What the fuck is going on? She stares at me and then starts to laugh. She gets up and paces around the room, her hands flying in useless motions as she laughs.
Okay, you're screwing with me, right? Mind control.
She got gassed! What the fuck?
I'm not messing with you. I'm dead serious.
I can't blame her for being so incredulous. It's a lot to take in at once, and the rest of what I have to say is even stranger. But if there's anyone who will believe me, who will believe the truth, it's Tara. Oh my fucking god, chat, what is happening? Her laugh becomes a whistle as she calms down. She takes a second to compose herself and then sits on the bed next to me.
Okay, mind control. Go on.
Like I said, I doubt Maddie's even aware. It's probably more like sleepwalking for her, but it would make sense. You said she's been spending a lot of time away from the cabin, right?
What?
And that she doesn't like to talk about where she's been. Plus the footage being damaged, and then the heaters dying. It makes sense.
Is Abigail like... Is Abigail even real then?
You're gonna have to sell me on this more. I wouldn't say that makes sense. What's the point of it? Why would your mom do that, and how? Like we haven't even approached the point of making sense.
I know. I'll explain.
Trying to remain calm myself, but there's a nervousness that I've never felt before. This is my first time ever talking about this with someone else. No matter how many times I'd imagined this conversation and rehearsed it in my head, it's nothing like real life.
My mom isn't really my mom. To be frank, she's not even human. Not anymore.
What the fuck is going on? I pause, waiting to see how Tara takes it. No reaction. I doubt that anything I'm saying even registers as a possibility to her. My only choice is to go through with it all and hope that she believes me in the end.
The person you've met, the creature, is something else, using a human woman's body as a host. She has the whole town under a glamour that makes them loyal to her, and she has for years. Longer than I've been alive. I think she has Maddie now, too.
What the fuck?
The reason that I sent you an email and invited you to Eisenfeld isn't because of the forest spirit or any of that other stuff, although it's related too. The reason is because I need your help. Evelyn, or the thing inside her, is going to try to kill me soon. To use me as
What?
a host
What?
within the next few weeks.
Oh shit!
You were the only people in the world who I could think of who might believe me. There wasn't anyone else I could ask.
Oh shit! What is going on? Oh my fucking god!
She knows that too, which is why she's trying to get rid of you now. Ruin your trip, make you want to leave.
Holy shit.
She would never hurt either of you. Too many people would notice if something happened. There'd be way too much unwanted attention on her. But if she could get the two of you to leave Eisenfeld, then she'd be able to proceed with her plans. I'm pretty sure that's what she's trying to do, through Maddie. That's it, I guess.
What is going on? As I finish speaking, I look down at my legs. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my chest. If nothing else, I'm glad that I got to tell someone. She's gonna die. Even if nothing changes, at least I got to share my story. If she doesn't believe me, if she thinks I'm as crazy as Maddie does, then I'm out of options. The silence stretches on, and I glance up at Tara's face. For someone usually so expressive and easy to read, her face is immutable. I can't tell what she's thinking. She just stares at me intensely, more scrutinizing than I've ever seen before. I meet her eyes, willing her to search mine and see that I'm telling the truth. I want to reach across and grab her hand. More than that, I want her to grab mine. Tara huffs, blowing a loose strand of hair that's fallen over her face. She blinks, pops her knuckles, scratches her legs, and finally she half smiles.
Okay, so then what do we do now?
Does that mean that you believe me?
Oh, hell yeah! My breath catches in my throat, scarcely daring to believe it. She hasn't confirmed yet. She could just be playing along.
Of course I do.
Hell yeah! I can't help myself. I lean forward and wrap my arms around her in a very selfish hug.
I'm so sorry for dragging you into all of this.
Let's fucking kill this monster. She doesn't deserve any of what's going on. I brought her into my own world of problems. Her arms wrap back around me without hesitation.
Hey, I'm glad you did.
Really?
Of course! If some other paranormal blog got this scoop, I'd be jealous forever.
We both laugh.
But I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot to take in, especially the stuff about Mads. But if never coming here would have meant you having to deal with all this on your own, then it's a damn good thing we're here.
For the first time that I can remember, I feel warm and comfortable. It's a moment that I wish could last forever. I don't deserve her support, but I'm infinitely glad that I have it.
Now let's go kick your mom's ass!
Yeah! Let's fucking kill your mom. I laugh again. I'm glad that she's able to keep a light heart through all of this. We're going to need it.
Really though, what do we do now? Pack our stuff and get out of here? You could totally crash with me and Mads. I'm sure she wouldn't mind. You'd have to get past that whole mind control thing first, though.
No. Running away isn't an option. She would just take someone else instead.
You said it'll happen
Oops,
in
I
a
skipped
couple
it.
weeks, right? How do you know?
It'll happen on the winter solstice. It's something to do with the moon. I don't really know the specifics myself. There's not a whole lot of information to go off.
Oh, shit.
You're in luck, because investigating stuff without a real lead is my
Hell
specialty.
yeah! She's incorrigible. Her smile is infectious. Her optimism and confidence make me think that this might work out okay after all.
There'll be plenty of time for that, I promise. Right now, I should head back home.
Already? Feels like you just got here a bit ago.
I know. I wish I could stay longer, but I need to start preparing right away. There's a lot that I'll need to fill you in on, but but it'll take some time for me to get ready.
So, like, later
shit.
tonight?
Probably tomorrow or the next day.
Okay, I'll lie low until then. What should we do about...
Her voice trails off and she nods in the direction of the rest of the cabin and Maddie. And she probably heard us yell to kick her mom's ass. That probably sounds weird out of context.
Nothing for now. Just try to act normal around her if you can.
So, avoid conversation as much as possible. Easy peasy.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing already. We stand up together and Tara walks me to the front door.
So, see you soon, I guess?
Right.
She leans forward suddenly, giving me another quick hug. My second one today. It's over far too quickly.
Cool. I'll be waiting.
I smile.
Me too.
It's always scary going home and facing the prospect of seeing Evelyn face to face. Today, though, it doesn't seem as bad. There's still a long way to go, but with Tara's help, there's a chance that everything will work out. That's more than I've ever been able to say before. Oh, we're back to Maddie. The skies are gray out when I wake up. I check my phone for the time, thinking that it must still be early, but no, it's almost 10. It's the clouds that are making it so dark. We're definitely in for a lot more snow today. It looks like it could be more than any of the previous storms. Sighing to myself, I get out of bed and get dressed without wasting any time. There's no way I'm going to be able to go see Abigail today, not with the weather as it is. I hope she won't wait up for me. It's frigid in the living room. I spent a while trying to fix the heater, but to no avail. I don't even know what's wrong with it. Tara must have had it pretty rough too. At least she could bundle up in blankets to keep warm. The door to her room is shut, so she's either gone or she's still asleep. I'm glad that things have seemed to improve between us. She seemed to have a change of heart or something, because a couple days ago, she started making small talk again. Even our argument over the footage wasn't explosive as it could have been. I'm getting tongue-tied. If it had happened 3 days prior, we probably wouldn't be on speaking terms at all anymore. I make myself a bowl of cereal and have a quiet breakfast alone. Although I've gotten used to not interacting with Tara much, there were still my visits with Abigail to look forward to. Now there's no telling how many days it'll be until the weather's cleared up enough for me to go see her again. Hopefully it'll blow over quickly. It's already starting to snow a little. Just to pass the time, I move my laptop onto the into the living room and start an episode of a show I've been meaning to watch. I keep one headphone out so that I'll be able to hear if Tara leaves her room. She never does. After 2 episodes, I get up and knock on her door. Unsurprisingly, there's no answer. I take a quick peek inside. Empty. She must be at Morgan's again. What? At this point, it's pretty obvious that they're more than friends. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's none of my business, of course. They're both adults and can do whatever they want. But I can't help being a little envious. Ooh. It's been more than a year since I've been on a date. Things ended sort of messily with my last girlfriend, and since then I haven't really been looking. Working on the show kept me busy enough. Still, it wasn't that I was trying to avoid meeting anyone new. It just didn't happen. I'm not like Tara. I can't talk to strangers and carry on a conversation straight away. Business stuff? Sure. Small talk? No way. I've always been a bit jealous of that. So seeing how quickly and how naturally Morgan and Tara ended up together feels like a painful reminder of my own social inadequacies. I guess there's an expiration date on their relationship, whatever it may be, though it's hard to believe that we're already halfway through our trip in Eisenfeld. It occurs to me that I'm in a similar situation with Abigail, although our friendship is nothing like Morgan and Tara's. It's also time limited. That thought hurts more than I expected it to. I wish there was some way she could come back with us. I wonder how difficult it is to smuggle a ghost internationally. That's the kind of problem Tara would be great at solving if she was around. In fact, I wonder if maybe I should take this opportunity to try and mend things with her. Assuming Abigail was okay with it, I could take Tara to meet her. While not quite as dramatic as the Forest Spirit, having a genuine ghost on film would still be a huge win for the show. Well, you can't just interview a ghost and expect people on the internet to believe you. It's a little funny to me that an actual ghost is mundane compared to what we've seen. I'm not entirely convinced on the idea. There's still some appeal to keeping the news to myself for at least a little bit longer. A knock at the front door interrupts my TV watching.
Coming!
Oh, for fuck's sake, it's her again. I undo the latch and come face to face with Evelyn again.
Good afternoon.
Hi there.
My previous encounter with her on the way back from the church flashes through my mind and sets me on edge. There's a man I don't recognize with her too, adding to my unease.
We heard there was an issue with the heater, so we've come to fix it. Don't want you freezing to death out here.
Her demeanor is a 180 from last time. I wonder which one of them let her know. Maybe Tara mentioned it earlier today.
Oh, thanks. That'll be a big help.
Aren't you going to let us in?
I realize that I'm blocking the doorway and step back to make room. It's technically her cabin. I don't really have the right to say no.
Yeah, sorry.
The guy with her brushes past me and heads to the heater, getting right to work. Meanwhile, Evelyn and I both sit down in the living room. I stare at the floor, hoping that she'll start the conversation, but she seems content to just look around the room, admiring the decorating. When she clears her throat, I flinch.
I'm very sorry for the discomfort it must have caused. Even a single night without the warmth can be most unpleasant.
She stares at me intently, like she's hoping for me to catch some hidden meaning. Whatever it is lost on me.
It's fine. It was just one night. Thanks for taking care of it so fast.
Of course. Are you the only one home today?
Yeah. Tara's out.
I can't imagine that Evelyn doesn't know about her and Morgan, or at least that the two of them have been spending so much time together. She and Morgan live in the same house after all. But Evelyn's eyebrows raise.
Is she now? My daughter said your friend was here. She wouldn't be foolish enough to venture into the woods on her own, would she? The weather's looking quite dire.
My mouth goes dry. Even Tara wouldn't be that reckless, right?
I don't think so.
Good. Only a fool would go out in this.
Oh shit! That's spooky! As if on cue, a heavy gust of wind blows, making the whole cabin creak. Through the window, I can see the snowfall has already gotten heavier. Thick, heavy flakes mask the glass and obscure the view outside. The workman finishes up and moves closer to the couch. He still hasn't said a word since he arrived.
Seems we're finished here. Do take care, Madison. And don't hesitate to call if you need help with anything else.
Will do. Thanks.
The two of them leave as abruptly as Morgan always does. The moment the door shuts behind them, I leap up and head for the landline phone. I don't know what that was about at all, but it's obvious there's something more going on than I'm aware of, something sinister. There's a small scrap of paper jammed underneath the phone with Morgan's phone number scribbled on it. I dial and wait, praying that the weather won't render the phones useless. It rings and rings and rings, but doesn't pick up. Eventually, it goes to a generic voicemail message delivered in an automated voice. I slam the phone back to reset it and then dial again.
Please, please, please.
If she's not there, if she's not with Morgan, then I don't know what I'll do. I don't know where else she could be. On the third ring, the phone clicks as someone answers. It's garbled and hard to hear her, likely because of the storm.
Morgan?
The person on the other line says something unintelligible.
Hello?
It's just barely clear enough for me to hear my name.
Yeah, it's me. Hey, listen, is Tara with you?
There's another pause and some staticky noise, then a beep as the line goes dead. Frantically, I hit the redial button. This time, she picks up on the first ring.
Hey, it's me. Is Tara with you?
There's a noise, but I can't tell if it's her answering me or just interference.
Sorry, what?
Again, the only response is garbled nonsense. I tried to talk to her several more times, but nothing is intelligible. I don't even know if she can hear me. The call drops again, and this time I don't bother calling back. I could try and send her an email, but it'll take forever before the webpage loads up enough for me to do that. I tried to make myself calm down. Logically, she's got to be with Morgan. There's nowhere else she'd go. Evelyn must have missed her somehow. I go to one of the windows using my sleeve to brush away the fog that veils the glass. It's already a blizzard out there, snowing harder than anything I've ever witnessed. That's when I see her. What?! A flash of red hair over by the tree line. Tara, what's going on? She's just standing there. When she notices me, she waves. What the hell is wrong with her? I point on the glass, pointing downwards to indicate that she should come in.
Come inside, you moron! What are you doing?
I know she can't hear me, but she keeps waving. What is going on? Then she turns and walks into the forest. This isn't real, it's a trap. What the hell? She's lost it. She's absolutely lost it. I fight against the wind just to open the door.
Tara!
My voice is swallowed up by the wind. There's no way she could have heard me. I try yelling again, but the cold stings my throat. Is this some idea of a joke to her? It's a terrible one, if so. Stepping out the front door, I can barely see her amongst the trees and swirling snow. She's just standing there waiting for me. I linger, not sure what to do. I can't just leave her there, but going out in this would be asinine. She waves again, more urgently. She clearly wants me to follow her. Maybe she needs my help. Maybe someone's been injured. Still, the storm. Every second I'm out here, the cold seeps a little bit further into me. I need to decide. I clench my fists. If nothing else, I know that Tara would come for me. Bracing myself, I start walking towards her. It's nearly impossible. Just keeping my balance and remaining upright is a chore. Every step I take feels like it's a battle against nature. Slowly, though, I do it. Once she sees that I'm following her, she starts walking again. I wish she'd wait for me to catch up so she could at least tell me what's going on. When I cross the tree line, the wind gets noticeably better, although the cold is no less bitter. Tara doesn't seem fazed. She's still forging ahead, always in the distance no matter how fast I go. Close enough to see, but not close enough to hear. After a few more minutes, I finally start to inch closer to her. I can't feel my hands or my feet, and my teeth won't stop chattering. I need to stop her now. My mouth is shaking too much for me to form any sort of coherent phrases. If I wasn't already genuinely scared, I am now. Oh! Then without warning, Tara stops. She stands completely still, backs towards me. I do my best to push forward, finally making my way to her.
Tara, we have to.
I give up on words instead of reaching out towards her. My fingers are numb and heavy. Before I can touch her shoulder, though, she turns around. And my blood runs icy as my skin. Whoa, I'm scared. What the fuck? Her face is completely smooth and featureless, like a mannequin. Her clothes, her hair, everything else are a perfect replica. But her face is an empty void. This isn't Tara. This isn't even human. The sharp taste of bile rises in my throat as I stumble back, repulsed. As I stare in horror, she begins to flicker like a light bulb going out.
No. No.
This isn't real. This can't be real. This isn't happening. This can't be happening. The fuck is going on? Still flickering, the thing begins to move. Its shoulders start to shake as it rocks back and forth, tilting its head back slightly. It doesn't make it sound, but its intention is clear. It's laughing at me. I fall backwards, hands scrambling through the snow that I can no longer feel. I scuttle away from it as best as I can, though it doesn't even try to follow me. It just rocks, celebrating its triumph over me. My shoulder smashes into something hard, sending a stinging pain through me. It's a tree. I try to stand up, but I've lost all sensation in my legs. My fingers scrabble desperately, uselessly at the hard earth and slick bark, but I can't find any purchase. I try to stand, and my feet slide from beneath me as I crash back into the ground. Each effort is harder than the last. I try several more times to stand, but I can't. Exhausted, I lie there, cheek pressed against the frigid ground. I can't even feel it. My face burns as it's buffeted with more and more snow. My thoughts run ragged. I know how hypothermia works, how fast it can set in. Surprisingly quickly, I'd once read. My body temperature only needs to drop a couple degrees to start shutting down. I can't muster the effort to move. The fake Terra is gone now. The space it occupied is empty. I'm alone. The realization crosses my mind, surprisingly lucid. I'm going to die. This is the end. There is no after this. I've reached the end of my life. Snow accumulates on my body. What parts I can feel burn. I'm grateful to those that I can't. My breath is barely even a wisp of vapor. I try to tell myself that I'm wrong. Someone will find me. I can't die out here. I'm not some mountain adventurer. I'm not the kind of person this happens to. I can't freeze to death. I can't. But I'm going to. What about Tara and BT and my family? I can't just leave them all behind because I ran too far into the woods. That's just not how this works. I tried to push myself back up, but I can't move my arms. I can't move anything. I'm sure that if my body allowed me, I'd be crying. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Oh God, I don't want to die. What the fuck is this? This is terrifying. My consciousness fades. A piercing light that should be unpleasant but isn't shines in front of me. I willed my body to reach for it, but I can't. Then I understand. It isn't for my hands to touch. I let go of it all, giving myself up. But then, a sound. Imperceptibly loud, deafeningly quiet. Something vibrant and full of life fills my tired eyes. It blocked the light. And then... Abigail! Abigail! Abigail appears, a look of shock on her face, as she reaches out a hand to Maddie. An angel appears. Chapter 3. Oh, fuck, I did it! We gotta save. Oh, chat. Let's go to the title. Oh, my heart. That got really tense. Holy shit. Okay, well, we did chapter 2. Holy shit. I like that one even more than the first chapter. That was freaking awesome. I love that we changed POVs as well. Holy shit. My voice hurts so much. It's a nice pace that this game goes at though. I think that's a good place to stop. Oh, fuck. I was so good. It was like, you have one twist, and then you got an even bigger one right after that twist. And then an even bigger one. God, they know how to do cliffhangers. That was great. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go drink some water and rest my voice. I'm loving this game. This is fucking fantastic. It's getting really epic. I expected it to be more romancy. Oh my god. I want to play more as Terra. Her point of view was really short. Yeah, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna go, fuck, that was awesome. Okay. Bye everyone. I will continue this next week. Hopefully on the day I actually schedule it for. And I won't be sleep deprived. But if not, I'll just do it the day after or something. But I think weekly is good. That's a good way to do it. Okay. Thank you for watching and enjoying this with me. Bye bye.